Hi, this is Sriyank Siddhartha and welcome to the next video of this object-oriented programming in Kotlin. Now in this video, let us check out how do we define a class in case of Kotlin. Similar to Java, in case of Kotlin, we have the class definition like this. Class keyword followed by the class name, and this is the class body. And now this class name customer is actually known as the header of the class. So always remember this. Now how do we define the constructor in case of Kotlin? So here is some example. Class customer followed by bracket open and close, inside which we can simply define some parameters such as name string like this. So this name is actually the string and it is actually the primary constructor. So this is the way we can define the primary constructor in case of Kotlin. Now if you notice here, this constructor does not contain any body. Unlike in Java where we had the constructor defined explicitly inside the class body, right? Now the question arises, how can we initialize all the field variables in case of Kotlin? So for this we have a init block. So init followed by curly bracket open and close. Inside this we can simply initialize all the properties or the field variables in case of Kotlin. So this is a typical example of a class containing the primary constructor and also the init block. Let us now proceed and check out what are the concepts that we will cover in this video. So first of all, we will check out what are properties in case of Kotlin that are also known as the field variables in case of Java. And then we will check out the significance of the primary constructor, init block, primary constructor with the property and also the primary constructor with just parameters. Now what is the basic difference between these two, such as primary constructor with property and with parameters, we will check out in this video. So let's get started. So here inside the IDE, here I have my main method. Now down the side, let us create our class such as a student, right? And this is the class body. And I guess in my previous videos I already taught you how do we define a class in case of Kotlin. Now to instantiate this class we can simply use, let's say, var space student equal to student. So typically in case of Kotlin we instantiate our class by using var space student equal to student. Now notice here we don't have any new keyword unlike in Java, right? So the syntax is more cleaner and more precise compared to Java. And now suppose student has some name. So for that, inside the student class, as a part of body, we can simply define some field variables which in Kotlin is known as property. So here I will simply use var name, which is of the type of string. Now here it will show some error that the var name must be initialized or should be declared as abstract. So here I will simply give it a default name as, let's say, dummy. Let's call it a dummy name. And now here I will simply initialize this property inside the main method by simply using object name student dot, let's say, name equal to Sriyank, which is my name. Pretty cool. And now if I want to print the name inside the main method, I will simply write a print statement name as, let's say, dollar interpolation curly bracket open and close student dot name. So if I run the code right now, I will get Shrink in the output with this statement, right? So here I get student has got a name as Shrink. So here you can notice I have simply created the object of the student class and defined the property or the field variable as name equal to dummy, which is the default value. And here I have simply overridden the name of the student as Shrink, and here I have simply printed out the statement. Now suppose if I want to print this statement inside the class student, so what do I do? So here I will simply create a init block, right? Now this init block is immediately executed after the creation of the instance of the student class. So when this statement is executed, this init block will be called right after. So inside this, I will simply cut this statement from here and paste it here, right? Now here, if you notice, the student is not defined inside the class student, right? because the scope of student is actually applicable inside the main method here, right? So here what I will do, I will simply remove it, and now here I want to print this name Sriyank. So for that what I will do is this student dot name has been defined here. Now what if I pass this value as a parameter inside the constructor like we do in case of Java. So in case of Kotlin, we have the concept of primary constructor. So let's say constructor and simply here declare name colon string, right? So here I will simply pass this Sriyank as a parameter, and now let us remove it. And also I guess I can comment this name from here, right? So inside the init block I can simply print the name as $name, which is basically this incoming name from this constructor, right? And now here, as per the Kotlin coding standard, if you do not specify any modifier such as @inject or something like that, so here you can simply skip this constructor keyword and append it to the header. So our code is now looking more cleaner. So this is actually the header along with the primary constructor defined here. So as soon as this statement will be executed, we will get student has got a name of Sriyank in the output console. So let us now run the code. So again in the output we got student has got a name as Sriyank, right? And now suppose I want to print the name of the student after this statement that is inside the main method somewhere here, right? So for that what I will do is I will simply use student.name. But here if you notice this name is actually undefined. But you must be thinking we have simply specified this name as a parameter here. So why can't we access it here right inside the main method? This is simply because this name string is actually just acting as a parameter. This is not the property of the class student that we had earlier in this class, right? So similar to any other constructor, as for example in case of Java, you can simply define name here, and now inside the init method, which is actually the part of the constructor, you can say the primary constructor, this name can be initialized as name equal to name. And now this name is actually this name. So we have to tell the compiler by using the this keyword. So this name, which is basically this name, has been now initialized to this name incoming, right? Which is actually Sriyank. So finally, this var name has now got the value of Sriyank. So inside the main method, now we can simply access student.name and can simply print the value. Pretty simple. So if you copy this statement and suppose paste it here, and now here you can simply print interpolation student.name, then this code will simply print the value of Sriyank from the main method itself. And now just to avoid some confusion, let us rename this name as underscore, and here as well you can rename it to underscore, and here if you want you can also put an underscore here that will simply refer to this name variable, or you can simply use $name that is actually pointing to this name property variable. And now, as per our current example, we are actually assigning the value to this name variable in two steps. That is, we are simply passing the name Sriyank, which comes here, and then inside the init block, we are simply assigning the value to this name, right? Now what if I simply tell you that you can simply declare this variable name property right inside the primary constructor? So what I'm talking about is you can simply call var space name, right? So here let us comment this, and here if you notice we have simply declared a property inside the primary constructor itself. So instead of doing it in the two step, we have just done it in the one step by simply using the var keyword inside the primary constructor, or if you want the immutable variable then simply use val here like this. So the primary constructor simply supports val and also var as well. So this can be removed from here, and now our code will now again work perfectly fine. Let us run the code. So again we got student has got a name as Sriyank, and here let us remove this comment. This will make our code look more cleaner. So this was all about this video where we learned how to declare a class, the primary constructor, and also we learned about the init block, and along with this we also learned about the property of the class, and also we can declare the property right here inside the class body. So this was all about this video. Thanks for watching and have a good day.